Hello, my friends. This is Leo from Quotes and Posters, and today I have a very special quote for you, very educational. The prime direction of life is to increase your level of consciousness. This one is by Leo Gura, the guy from actualize.org. All right, so let's jump into this quote, right? Do you notice some people around you, in maybe your parents or some of your friends or some people that you see in your work environment or in your class if you're a student, and people you see generally, like on YouTube also, like people, and some of these people you think, wow, how can that how can that person be so closed mind, or how can he be so stupid? And you then start to question yourself, what if I am also stupid? What if I am also very closed mind? And how can I actually become a better person? And I actually have something to say also. Have you noticed how the person you are today is different, and is kind of, in a way, it's like kind of more evolved than the person that you were a couple of years or decades ago? Hopefully you are, right? Or at least can you see that you changed, and can you see that some of the beliefs that you had like years ago, do you see that you kind of change your beliefs? And if the answer is yes, then I think that kind of means that you believe in evolution, and you believe in becoming a better person by changing your beliefs, believing something else. And basically this is what this quote is about. You change your beliefs by becoming more conscious. And what is to become more conscious, I think, is to really try to understand what is going on in the world. To become conscious is it's a very complex thing, right? But basically, I think to become conscious, in my understanding, is to be open to everything and consider everything, and not just to be open, but also to search for it and to do something about it, right? To search for some answers, and search for answers about things, study, go after the try to go after some or all explanations, and try to understand the world, and try to understand. And I think to become really conscious is try to understand what's with the world, what's going on in the world, why the world is the way it is. So that means increasing your level of consciousness, right? Because we just take things for granted. We just accept things as people put them to us. And we just we consider that things are the way they are because they are. We just don't have enough motivation or enough willpower or interest to search for the reasons why things are they are, and why we as human species act the way we do, which many times doesn't make any sense, right? At least for me, like, because we have enough intelligence, we develop the intelligence to be able to dominate this world and provide all the basic needs that we all need to survive as species, and we managed to do that. And then paradoxically, we even by the fact that everybody can survive, nobody needs to die, there's a paradox like that. We paradoxically want more, and we want better things, and we have greed. So there's a big paradox in the world, and some explanations that it kind of feels like, in a way, that there's like someone above us laughing at us and making fun of us, laughing out of our misery, because it's just not possible, like the paradoxes of life. How come we reach a point where we have everything we need to survive, and we can cooperate with each other to make that happen, and we just, instead of doing this cooperation and acting as a global community, we just create wars, and we just kill each other. And why do we do that? If our main purpose is to survive, why do we... And now we have the technology and the means to do that. And we do it, and we create wars. And I think the reason we create wars and reason we kill each other, and we always been killing each other forever, since we were born, I think the basic reason is we want to survive, but we don't want to work. I would say that. Nobody wants to work. We want to eat, we want to survive, we want the good things, but we don't want to do anything if we have the ability, we want to survive without having to do anything, right? But that doesn't end like this, right? Because why then, after we reach a level where we don't need to work anymore, and many people reach this level where they can survive without doing anything, why do they end up then wanting to do more? Why do they want more? And because they want more, this actually creates a whole system of dependencies where you depend on something, another thing, and that eventually creates war. So actually, have you ever thought that if you really, because we tend to think very individually, right? And we are individuals. That's the most crazy thing also about the world, is that we are individuals, but we, as a collective, we create a collective in order to survive, right? So that's why we create groups. And that's why it's so difficult for me to be part of a group, to be included in a group. Like, nobody wants to include me on anything, because they don't see that I have any value to offer to anything, right? And there's always just like this power conflicts in these power games. But we have our necessities, our individual needs, but we get into groups because we need to survive. And then we already manage to get what we need to survive, but we want more. And then the individual wants more, and the individual tries to lead the group to get more. And it always been like this, and this I think this is the basic principle of the conflicts that we have with ourselves, why we kill each other. Because we want to dominate. We want to dominate the other. It's not enough to dominate the animal. Like we can kill, because of our intelligence, we can easily create hunting tools, and we can already control and dominate all the animals because we are intelligent. We can build cities. But no, it's not enough. This is not enough. We also need to dominate others. So we constantly need to go with wars with others. We constantly, and you can't stop that. And the more you can, and that's the most paradoxical thing ever, because we can evolve our intelligence, we can become much more smarter by the way we think and the things we do, but the basic thing, these basic things about fighting to each other, we can't stop. We can't come with peace with each other. Why can't we have peace? I ask myself. And I don't know the answer. I really don't know the answer. Is it something in our DNA? Because you see, we here, we are in this quote, we're saying like that the prime direction of life is to increase your consciousness, and then I increase my consciousness to this level where I can't find the answer to this question. the fuck is going on with the world? And I think this happens to the other, but this, of course, this happens to me also. The reality is, the way I see it, the world now is a very, I was gonna say, yeah, see, I was gonna say it's a very sad reality, but you see, I am already thinking about sad and happy. I'm already putting these concepts and putting these values, attributions. I'm already putting attributions into things, right? I think it's a sad reality, the world we're living. But the world we're living is just the reality. It's just what it is and what it is. 6 billion animals trying to survive. 6 billion monkeys trying to survive. Creating things, fighting. And by survival is not only survival, it's dominant, trying to dominate, trying to, survival in a much broader sense. Because when you dominate, you survive. In a way, it's another level of survival. We just don't want to survive. We want to make sure that 100%, to be 100% sure that we are going to survive. We don't want questions. We don't want we don't want to take risks. We want guarantees that we are going to survive. And the way to have guarantees that you're going to survive is by getting rich, is by getting power. And by getting rich, you get power. Because we created this thing called money. And money kinds of buys power. Money is a currency. Buy money, buy power. So what we need armies. We need armies, we need bodyguards. We need security, because somebody else is the enemy there. Someone else is going to want my money. So we need to create systems to prevent that. Very sophisticated systems of security. And as we create those systems, they are put to test. See what happens with the Twin Towers at the 9/11. And then we create systems on top of systems on top of systems. And it's an endless game, right? Where we just can't. We cooperate with each other and we trade, and at the same time we fight with each other. It's a very complex system. And not all the times we're conscious about that, right? So that's what this quote is about. It's about really thinking. I think that this quote, what's interesting about it, I think, because when you start becoming more conscious of things and about the world and about ourselves, many things, they kind of start to reveal themselves to you. and you start questioning everything, which is great, because I don't want to be this kind of person that ends my life with a certain ideology. I don't want to have any ideology, and I don't want to have any belief, because I don't think I need any belief. I don't see the point. What is the point for me to have a belief? What is the point for me to believe in something? What I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do with my belief? What I'm gonna get from it? Is this belief going to make me more happy? See, another paradox here is that by not having a belief is already a belief by itself. Actually, when you start creating philosophies about, when you start thinking about life, when you start philosophizing, I don't know if there's a word about that in the English dictionary, philosophizing. When you start thinking and making philosophies about life, it's not very hard for you to reach this conclusion. You can reach this conclusion in one day. From the first day that you start thinking about life, you can reach the conclusion that everything, all the big questions of life are paradoxical. Like all the big questions of life, even like every life by itself is a big paradox. And we want the truth. We fight for the truth. We want the truth. We want the truth, but there's no such thing as truth. And still, believing that there's no such thing as truth becomes the truth. So basically the truth is there is no truth, which makes a paradox, a very big paradox in your face. And so, and then you just live your life like this, and then you just die without getting what you wanted, which was the truth. Right? Or maybe you can die, you can end up your life in a much more happy place, which is accepting that there's no truth. That could be a very interesting way of dying, right? Not fighting for the truth, of not wanting the truth, or not expecting the truth, and understanding that everything is a point of view, even though there are things, there are patterns that you see through history, that those are patterns and patterns of behaviors, which is the self-preservation instinct that each one of us has as human beings, as animals. So I gotta go now, time for my lunch. I'm hungry. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you don't, click the unlike button for me, please. And see you again. Bye.